Right now, tonight, a storm system is crawling across the east coast of the United States, and it is not moving on quickly. It is parked, it is repeating, and it is about to soak, batter, and possibly flood the homes of more than 100 million people from the mid-Atlantic all the way up into New England. If you live anywhere near New York City, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Washington, D.C., Connecticut, New Jersey, or even up into Massachusetts, what you're about to hear is not some far-off forecast. It is happening within hours. Meteorologists have been watching this system build for days, and the language they are using is not calm. Officials have placed parts of New Jersey, New York, and Connecticut under a moderate risk for excessive rainfall, which sits at level 3 out of 4 on the scale the National Weather Service uses to describe how dangerous flash flooding could get. A broader slight risk stretches from the mid-Atlantic all the way into New England, meaning almost nobody along that stretch of coastline gets to sit this one out. Here is why this storm is different from a normal summer rain. The atmosphere above the East Coast right now is loaded with moisture, unusually high even for late July, and it is combining with an unstable, energy-packed environment that forecasters say is capable of producing very heavy rainfall in short bursts. In plain terms, this means the storms will not just pass through and leave. They are expected to train, which means one thunderstorm after another rolling over the exact same towns, the exact same roads, the exact same rivers and creeks, again and again, dumping rain on ground that has already had nowhere left to drain it. And the numbers being thrown around are not small. Widespread rainfall totals of 1 to 3 inches are expected across the region, but in the hardest hit pockets, forecasters are warning that 4 to 5 inches could fall, and in a matter of hours, not days. If you have ever seen a street turn into a river in under 30 minutes, this is exactly the kind of setup that causes it. Roads can go from wet to impassable before a driver even realizes what's happening, which is why officials are begging people, if you see water over a roadway, do not try to cross it. Turn around. But rain is only half of the danger tonight. The same system carries the threat of severe thunderstorms capable of producing damaging wind gusts up to 60, even 70 miles per hour, hail, and yes, the possibility of a few tornadoes touching down. A conditional tornado threat has already been flagged for areas near the Delmarva Peninsula, and forecasters have warned that these storms could organize into Boeing line segments and isolated supercells, the kind of structure that produces the most damaging straight-line winds. If you are outside when the sky turns that strange greenish gray and the wind suddenly goes still, that is not the moment to keep filming for social media. That is the moment to get inside. This isn't a one-night event either. The system is expected to linger from Tuesday all the way through Thursday, meaning some of the same communities could get hit more than once, with the ground already saturated and rivers already swollen by the time the second or third wave rolls in. The greatest flooding risk has been pointed at a corridor running from northeastern Pennsylvania through southeastern New York into northern New Jersey, western Connecticut, and western Massachusetts. But honestly, the margin for error here is thin because these systems can shift 30 or 40 miles in either direction and completely change who gets the worst of it. Air travel is already feeling it. Airports serving New York have already begun canceling flights ahead of the storm's arrival, which tells you everything about how seriously airlines are treating this. If you have a flight booked anywhere near this corridor in the next 2 days, do not assume it will leave on time. City officials in New York have already issued a travel advisory for evening rush hour, warning commuters to expect delays, standing water, and dangerous driving conditions on some of the busiest roads in the country. Now, if you are watching this from somewhere far away, somewhere sunny, somewhere none of this is touching you tonight, please do not scroll past this like it doesn't matter. Somewhere in that storm's path tonight is a family deciding whether to sleep upstairs because their basement has flooded before. Somewhere is a driver who didn't check the forecast before heading out, about to hit standing water they can't see the depth of in the dark. Somewhere is a kid whose flight home got canceled and whose parents are scrambling to figure out what happens next. Wherever you are watching this from, take a second and just hope that they all make it through okay. Hope that the worst of the wind stays offshore. Hope that the rain lets up before the rivers crest. Hope that nobody has to lose a home over a summer storm that, by tomorrow, most of the country will have already forgotten about. Because that is the cruel thing about storms like this. For millions of people right now, this is the scariest night of their year. And for everyone else, it will be a headline they scroll past in about 4 seconds. If you have friends, family, or followers anywhere in this path, from Virginia up through Maryland, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, and Massachusetts, send them this video right now. Tell them to check their local alerts, keep their phones charged, and take any flood or severe thunderstorm warning seriously the moment it comes through, not after the water is already at their door. Emergency officials are asking people in the highest risk zones to avoid unnecessary travel tonight and tomorrow, to move vehicles away from areas that have flooded before, and to have a way to get severe weather alerts even if the power goes out. If your area has ever flooded before, even once, assume it can happen again this week because the ground is primed for it and the storms keep coming back to the same places. This storm will keep evolving over the next 48 hours, and where the absolute worst of it lands can still shift. So if you are anywhere near this corridor, do not treat this as background noise. Check your local forecast tonight, not tomorrow morning. And if you are safe somewhere else, keep an eye on this story anyway, because tonight it's the Northeast and the Mid-Atlantic. But storms like this are becoming more frequent. And next time, it could be a lot closer to home than you think. Stay safe, check on the people you love in that region, and we will keep following this storm as it moves through. If this kept you informed, make sure you're subscribed, because the moment there's an update on how bad this gets, we'll bring it to you first.